good.
All right. Eric, I really do appreciate you taking the time with me. Thanks so much for this. I guess I want to know a little bit about yourself. Tell me about you.
Well, I'm going to UCO. I'm almost done. I'm a senior. I'm going for advertising and just trying to get through school.
Cool. All right. What made you choose UCO?
It was close to home, but it wasn't like too small of a school. Just kind of, a lot of my friends were there too.
Really? That's cool. Do you play any sports?
I played baseball in high school. I don't play anymore.
How'd you do with baseball in high school?
Pretty good. We made the state tournament every year.
Really?
Won one year. So.
You won the state championship? That's awesome. Did you? Now, were you started on the team?
Not really one. I was like sophomore, and so not that much. But I got to play a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
What position you play? What was like your best position?
First base and catcher mostly.
Very cool. So do you have some like power when you hit?
Decent, I guess.
Decent.
Yeah.
You got a good arm, I'm sure, playing catcher.
Yeah, pretty good.
Very cool. Do you have any plays at the plate that were like really intense?
I had one guy, he came up, he just jumped up with his cleats right up on me and like made my leg bleed, and then we hit him next time we got to bat.
Really? Did you get him out too on that one? Or?
Yeah, he was out. Yeah,
Nice. That's cool. All right. It's one of those, sometimes people don't talk about baseball being a violent sport, but sometimes it's pretty intense. Well, I really do appreciate you taking the time with me. And I guess I first want you to know that unfortunately, just with how everything works out, I typically can only meet with one person per training class. I have to work with the new people. I also have a lot of other obligations that take me out. So I really only, when I meet with this one person, it's really someone who I really see has a lot of potential. And just with how you start out so far, out of your entire training class, Eric, you're the person that I really want to meet with, and I've been really impressed with yourself. So I do appreciate you taking the time, and I promise to make this worthwhile for you as well. I know that when, I guess we had talked earlier, you talked with me about, like on Friday, for instance, you talked with me about doing 10,000 in your fast start before you made your calls, and then on Saturday morning, after you got those, I think you had like 6 or 8 appointments set up. After you got those appointments, we talked again about your goals. You said you want to do 10,000, that was the thing. And now, obviously, you're a couple days in, you've sold about $2,500 or so. What is your goal at this point?
I still want to get 10,000. I like that fun. That window night looks like fun, so I'll do that.
Totally. Okay. Well, very cool. Well, one of the important things I like to know is exactly what you're shooting for. Now, one thing I'm going to go through with you, and I'm actually going to leave this with you at the end, but you'll see on here I put 10K, and then you're going to see me put like a little plus symbol. What that means is 10K or more. The one thing I would encourage you, I've had some experiences, you may hit this earlier on than you expect, potentially, and I would hate to see you stop, So if you do achieve this, sometimes we have some people who hit the 10K and then they keep going and they end up winning, doing 15K. And I'll show you some of those people who've done it as well on the process. So that's one thing I want you to be aware of. Now, what's really interesting is with your start so far and the success you have, I'm not sure if you realize this, but you're actually right on pace to actually do even a little bit more than 10,000 as well. Here's a guy, his name is Jay Juster. He was from our Dallas office. He actually, you'll see on here, he did over $10,000 in his first 10 days. And you'll see after his first couple days, he actually did a little bit less than what you had sold. He did about $2,152, so a little bit behind where you are. And you'll see he had a couple more orders, afterwards. And then you'll see after his advanced training 2, his last weekend exploded. But he actually did over $10,000, even being a little bit less than where you're at as well. We had another one of our representatives also on our team, and is actually this gentleman by the name of Chris White. Now, Chris, he a little bit ahead of you. He was at about $2,700, so a couple $100 or so, and he had done right around the same amount of appointments. I think you've done 8 or so, and he had done 8, but he had made 7 sales and. Right, so the only difference is he had 1 extra order than you. But you'll see he did about $2,700, a couple $100 more than you. But you'll see after what was covered in this same PC, he sold $8,400 the next 4 days. And you'll see on there the reason why he did so well is he went from 8 appointments to 20 appointments. And what's really cool is he had 20 appointments, he had 22 sales. So Chris actually had more orders than he had appointments. He had a couple customers on the demos who bought extra stuff, or someone just happened to be there on the appointment he wasn't expecting, and they bought some more. And he was already at $10,000 after his 7th. So he was someone, remember we talked about the plus? He ended up going after it, and you'll see he did over $15,000. He actually won the flat panel TV.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so it's something that's out there, but I want you to realize, same pace as you. Here's another person as well, who's one of our top people out of Beaumont. His name's Zach Simmons. Zach, again, very similar to you. You know, he had done about $2,900 his first couple days. You know, a couple more appointments than you. That's why he sold a little bit more than you. But you'll see again, after what was covered here, his next couple days, popped to 4,700, and then again after advanced training 2 in his final weekend, which is huge, sold over $7,000, and he also did just a shade under 15 grand. So with the start that you're off so far, you definitely have the potential where you could do 10,000 or more in your first 10 days. So I'm really proud of you for that. And I know you had a couple different things that you were looking for, but I'm not sure if you realized all the things that you gained by doing 10,000. You know, one of the things you talked about was the Limonite, right?
Yeah.
You know, by the way, Limonite rocks. It's awesome.
Sounds like it.
Dude, have you ever been in a limo before?
Yeah, my friend, like 16th birthday.
For 16th birthday? What kind of limo was it?
It's like a Lincoln or something.
Yeah, like a stretch town car, something like that. Those are kind of cool. Sometimes they have like the little lights in the ceiling, stuff like that. So that's awesome. When we had one of our most recent Limo Night winners, we actually had, instead of like one of those limos, we actually got a stretch excursion limo.
Cool.
I'm not sure if you've ever seen like one of the like stretch excursion or Hummer.
We drive around town.
By the way, whenever you see those on the road, you know, and you watch them drive down the road, everyone always does the same thing. But you always like look and you want to see who's like inside it, right? Have you ever noticed that you can never see inside that limo? Yeah, it's tinted, right? But you still look no matter what, right? It's so cool when you're on the inside and you're like looking at every single person as you're driving by, and everyone's like, wow, I wonder who could be in that. And it's so cool, like literally it's like bench, then huge long bench, TVs in the back. I mean, like literally you could have like 3 or 4 people laying full out, and like they wouldn't even touch each other. Oh, it's massive. And then like sometimes people like stand through the sunroof and stuff like that as well, you know, on there. But anyways, we pick you up, and it's like we got a couple other of our Limo Night winners. Everyone's between, you know, young professionals, 18 to 25 or so, dressed to the nines, you know, looking really sharp. And we go to a great restaurant. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of a restaurant called Emerald's. That was one of the places we went just recently. It's like the guy, there's this guy on TV, he's like, bam, you know? Anyways, this guy Emerald, this restaurant is exquisite. It's one of the top restaurants when we went to the one in New Orleans, for instance. And we walk in, and like literally walk in, there's 10 of us all dressed, looking so sharp. And like the whole restaurant, like you can hear like forks like drop. It's like silence because everyone stares at this group and everyone's like, who in the world are these people, right? Like you don't see a group of like 18, 25-year-olds roll out of a stretch like excursion limo or Escalade limo and like that young. They think that we got to be doing something, you know, either we're in the movies, you know, and some people have no idea, athletes, you know, they don't know. We walk in and like, you know, we see, and there's like Emerald in the back, he's cooking. We're like, what up, Emerald? He's like, what up, Vector? You know, just all fired up. So anyways, we go sit down at this restaurant, and we sit down. Now I'm not sure if you've ever been to like a really nice restaurant before, and you have like just, unfortunately you have like one meal, you know, and so there's always the really big challenges. You can only pick like one thing from the menu, and so you really struggle with that decision. Well, we make sure that doesn't happen on the Limo Night. Instead, we order every single appetizer on the menu. You know, they got this thing called the barbecued shrimp. I'm not sure, are you a big shrimp fan? Dude, barbecued shrimp is exquisite. Like literally, it almost tastes kind of like candy when you eat it. It's one of the greatest things I've ever eaten. They've got this like Chilean sea bass that we ate. It's like, even as I think about it, like my mouth's really watering. They've got like this filet mignon. I kid you not, like with your fork, you can cut it. It is incredible. You know, and sometimes they're like, you know, don't eat the bread because you'll fill up, yada yada, right? But the bread is so good, you know, that no one can like help themselves. Everyone has to try it a little bit as far as bread goes. So anyways, we eat this just ridiculous dinner, and it's just awesome. All of us having a great time with it. And then after that, what's kind of cool about New Orleans, or any city for that matter, is afterwards, the city doesn't like turn off. So we actually end up going out and having a really fun time on the night, on the town. You know, we have this nice limo, had a great meal, we have a great time as well. That's a cool thing, you know. And by the way, I'd love to see you hit it, because then that means I get to go on that really nice dinner as well, you know. Now, with you hitting that Limo Night, what restaurant would you want to go to? What would be like the place you'd be really excited about?
That Emerald's place sounds pretty cool.
Emerald's? It's one of the top restaurants in the country. It's awesome. Also, I'm not sure if you realize though, by doing 10,000 in your fast start, you realize that you would actually earn $2,000
cool.
In your first week and a half, like your first 2 paychecks, they would total $2,000 or so.